the donkey's trick. Get set. Do you know what a folk tale is? It is a story passed down from our forefathers and shows the culture and values of that time. Mullah Nasruddin is a funny character in many folk tales and is sometimes wise, sometimes foolish, and sometimes both. Read this folk tale and decide whether Nasruddin is wise or foolish. Once Nasruddin had to take 7 donkeys to the next town. As he went on his way, he began to think of something. Suddenly he remembered about the donkeys, so he checked if they were all still there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He counted.
How can that be?
He thought. He counted again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He became worried. He got off the donkey he was riding. Then he counted the donkeys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ah, they were all there. Nasruddin got back onto the donkey and checked again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What was going on? He got off the donkey again and counted once more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Nasruddin scratched his head and looked at the donkeys.
Ah,
he said,
these donkeys are playing a trick on me, so I won't ride any of them. When I sit on one of them seems to be missing. But when I get off the donkey, they stop trying to fool me.
Word meanings suddenly happening without warning. Check to find out if something is correct. Worried, disturbed about a problem. Scratched, used nails to rub. Tulikas Garden. Get set. We love flowers because they look beautiful. We eat many vegetables. They keep us healthy. Do you know where the different flowers and vegetables grow? Have you ever thought how your garden would look with colorful flowers and vegetables growing in it? Tulika lived in a flat of a tall building in a city. She could see only the roofs of nearby houses from her flat. Tulika loved trees and flowers. On Sundays, she went to the park to see the lovely flower beds. They were beautiful. One spring, her family moved to a big house. Tulika was delighted. The first thing she said was, "Oh, now I can have a garden." There were apple trees, a plum tree, and some pear trees behind the house. Then there was a stretch of grass and a stone wall with a gate leading into the field. "What shall we have in it?" asked Mother. "Flowers," said Tulika, with shining eyes. "Blue, white, yellow, pink, every kind of flowers." "Surely flowers," said Mother. "Shall we have a little vegetable garden in the middle?" "What is a vegetable garden?" asked Tulika. "Well, what do you think?" asked her mother, laughing. "You can have carrots, tomatoes, radishes, cucumbers, peas, and little beans, and young onions." "Oh, how good it sounds," said Tulika. "I support the vegetable garden." That evening her father drew a plan for the garden.
These are 2 vegetable beds,
he said.
This is a footpath between the 2 vegetable beds. The outside strip of each vegetable bed is for flowers.
"Papa, it's wonderful," said Tulika. Word meanings: spring, the season after winter and before summer. Delighted, full of joy and happiness. Stretch, a long and narrow piece of land. Support, agree with an idea. Plan, a rough drawing. Wonderful, extremely good. The world of colors. Get set. Colors add beauty to everything, and every color is important. Have you ever imagined how the world would look without colours? Read a story about how the colours once fought amongst themselves, and the rain had to come and teach them to live together. This story teaches us that we should live together in peace, without fighting, to make our life better. Once upon a time, all the colours of the world started to quarrel. Each one said that it was the best, the most important, the most useful, and the favourite.
Green.
I am the most useful,
said Green.
Look at the green grass and the green leaves. There is green color everywhere.
Look at the blue sky and the blue sea. I am the most important color.
Hearing this, Yellow chuckled.
You are all so serious. I bring happiness, laughter, and warmth into the world. Think of the bright yellow sun. I am everybody's favorite.
Orange spoke next.
I am the color of health and strength.
It said,
I carry the most important vitamins in carrots, pumpkins, oranges, mangoes, and papayas.
Hearing this, Red got impatient.
I rule over you all.
He shouted angrily.
I am the color of love, danger, and of bravery.
Violet stood up tall.
Kings have always chosen to wear me, for I am the color of royalty and power,
it said. Finally, Indigo spoke.
Think of me. I am the color of ink. You need me to write.
And the colours went on boasting, and their quarrelling became louder and louder. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning. Thunder rolled and boomed. Then rain started falling angrily and said, You foolish colours! Don't you know that each of you is different? For a special reason? Join hands with one another and come to me. The colours held hands and went to meet the rain. From now on, said Rain, whenever you see me, you all will stretch across the sky together in the shape of a great bow, as a reminder that you can all live without quarrelling. You will be called Rainbow, a sign of hope and peace. So whenever a good rain washes the world and a rainbow is seen in the sky, let us remember that we are all special and beautiful in our own way, and that we should live happily together. Word meanings: quarrel, fight between friends or family members. Favorite, most liked by everyone. Chuckled, laughed quietly. Serious, quiet and thoughtful. Vitamins, substances needed to remain healthy. Impatient, unable to wait. Bravery, having quality to do dangerous things. Royalty, member of families of kings and queens. Boasting, talking proudly. Boomed, made loud sounds. Stretch, cover the whole area. Peace, a condition in which there is no war or fighting. Reward for honesty. Get set. What will you like to become? An honest person or a greedy person? An honest person is always rewarded, but a greedy person is always punished. Read this story about an honest old woman and a greedy merchant. A rich merchant once lost his pouch of coins in the marketplace. A poor old woman found the pouch. She opened it and saw that it had 100 gold coins. Just as she was wondering whose pouch it was, she heard the merchant shout,
A reward? I will reward anyone who find my pouch.
The honest woman gave the pouch to the merchant. Here is your pouch, she said. Will you give me my reward?
Reward?
Said the merchant, greedily counting his gold coins.
My pouch had 200 coins of gold. You have already stolen more than the reward. Go away.
"I'm poor, but I'm honest," said the old woman. "I will go to the Queen's palace and ask for help." The Queen called the merchant and listened to both sides of the story. Then she said, "I believe you both. Your pouch had 200 coins of gold. This pouch that the woman found has only 100 coins, so this cannot be your pouch," the Queen said to the merchant. Then the Queen gave the pouch of 100 gold coins to the honest woman. The merchant had nothing to say. He knew that this was his punishment for being dishonest and greedy. Word meanings. Merchant, person who buys and sells goods. Pouch, a small bag to keep money. Wandering, thinking in a surprised way. Reward, something given in return for good work. Honest, one who always tells the truth. Greedily, wanting more of something. Stolen, taken something secretly, without permission. Believe, accept that someone is telling the truth. Punishment, making someone suffer for doing something wrong. Dishonest, not truthful. My new friend. Get set. Do you like to play with animals? Which pets do you have at home? Do you find it enjoyable to spend time with animals? Read this poem about a girl who decides to go with a puppy and play with him. I met a man as I went walking. We got talking, man and I. Where are you going to, man? I said to the man as he went by.
Down to the village to get some bread. Will you come with me?
No, not I. I met a horse as I went walking. We got talking, horse and I. Where are you going to, horse, today? I said to the horse as he went by.
Down to the village to get some hay. Will you come with me?
No, not I. I met a puppy as I went walking. We got talking, puppy and I. Where are you going this nice fine day? I said to the puppy as he went by.
Oh, up to the hills to roll and play.
I'll come with you, puppy, said I. Word meanings. Hay, grass cut and dried. Nice, pleasant. Fine, very good. Sahils Lemonade. Get set. What do you like to drink in summer? Hot tea and milk, or cold water, juice and milkshake? Have you seen your mother making any cold drink for you? Read how a small boy makes a cold drink when he is thirsty. It was a hot summer afternoon. Sahil was very thirsty. He drank some cold water, but he wanted something sweet.
I would really like to have fresh lemonade,
he thought. He looked for his mother. She was taking a nap. He looked for his grandmother. Maybe she would make some lemonade for him. Oh no, she was taking a nap too.
I'll make some lemonade for myself,
said Sahil to himself. He went into the kitchen. He remembered to wash his hands. Mummy always did so before cooking. He took out all the things he needed. Luckily, there was a cut lemon in the fridge. Mummy did not allow him to use a knife. Then he took down the sugar jar from the shelf.
I have an empty glass, sugar, cold water, half a lemon, and a lemon squeezer. I also have a teaspoon for measuring sugar and a napkin. Now that I have collected all the required ingredients, I am ready to make the lemonade.
He put 2 teaspoons of sugar into the glass and added water. Then he carefully placed the half lemon in the squeezer. He pressed down firmly. The juice squirted out. After this, he gently stirred it till all the sugar in the glass had dissolved into the water, and took a small sip. What a face he made! It was too sour.
What should I do now?
He thought. That's right. He carefully added some more sugar into the glass. Now he stirred it again and tasted it. Yes, it was delicious, cool and refreshing. He then cleaned the kitchen table with a napkin. Sahil was happy and proud to have made the lemonade himself, without disturbing his mother or grandmother. Word meanings: thirsty, feeling a need to drink something. Lemonade, a drink made from lemon juice, water and sugar. Nap, a short sleep taken during the day. Squeezer, a tool for squeezing a fruit to get its juice. Squirted, flowed from a narrow opening. Stirred, mixed in a circular motion. Sour, sharp, tangy taste. Delicious, having a nice taste. Refreshing, pleasantly fresh. Rip Van Winkle. Get set. Have you ever thought what would happen if a member of your family suddenly disappeared and came back after 20 years? This sounds strange, but read a story in which such a thing actually happens. Rip Van Winkle was a simple, good man and a kind neighbor, but he was also lazy. So his wife sometimes got angry with him. Then he would go away into the mountains to hide from her. One day, Rip and his dog, Wolf, climbed to the highest part of the mountains. They were tired, so they lay down on the green grass to rest. When Rip got up, he heard a voice calling him.
Rip Van Winkle, come here. Come and help me.
He turned around and saw a short old man. He was carrying a heavy barrel on his shoulder. Rip agreed to help him carry the barrel to a valley in the mountains. When he reached the valley, he found a group of men playing a game.
They look so strange,
thought Rip.
They have such short legs and long beards, and they are wearing strange clothes.
Rip was afraid. The old man asked Rip to pour the pink water in the barrel into the men's glasses. The men drank the water and went back to their game. Rip, too, drank a lot of the pink water. He felt very sleepy. Soon he fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up, he was alone. He rubbed his eyes. It was a bright, sunny morning. He called out to his dog,
Wolf! Wolf!
But no dog came. Rip felt very weak and hungry. He started walking towards his village. When he entered the village, the people stared at him and the dogs began barking at him.
He looks funny.
The children said,
He has a dirty grey beard and his clothes are torn.
The whole village looked different. His house had fallen down. Just then, a young woman peeped through the crowd. Rip looked at her. She looked like his wife.
What's your name?
Rip asked her. Judith, she replied.
And your father's name?
Ah, poor man. His name was Rip Van Winkle. 20 years ago, he went away from home with his dog. He never came back, she said.
Oh, my dear, I'm your father,
cried Rip. He hugged his daughter. Everyone was amazed. They laughed and said,
Welcome home again, neighbor. Where have you been these 20 long years?
Only Rip knew the answer. He had been asleep in the mountains for 20 years. Word meanings: lazy, one who does not like to do work. Barrel, a cylindrical container bulging outwards in the middle. Valley, flat land surrounded by mountains, stared, looked at fixedly, peeped. Here, looking through the space between people in the crowd, hugged, held tightly by putting arms around. Amazed, surprised. The mountain fire. Get set. In winters, you must have seen people sitting around small fires to keep themselves warm. In North India, the festival of Lohri is celebrated in winters. On this day, people dance around small fires and eat gajak and reverie. Have you ever imagined what would happen if we do not put off these fires after some time? Read this story to see what happens if we forget to put off the fire. Prabhu and Pranav often spent their holidays together. Pranav lived in the mountains with his mother and father, and his cousin Prabhu lived in a city. Every year during summer vacations, Prabhu came to live with his uncle, aunt, and cousin. There was a small mountain behind Pranav's house. One day, Prabhu and Pranav decided to go for a trek up that mountain. Up and up they went, till they found a cool place. Here they collected sticks, lit a fire and roasted the corn cobs they had brought along. They enjoyed the corn, chatted for a while, and set out again. After a long trek, they were back home at 6:30 in the evening. Pranav's father was also back home from work. They sat down to have tea. Just then a man came running.
Sahib, Sahib,
He said to Pranav's father,
there is a fire on the mountain behind your house. Please leave the house and go to a safer place.
Pranav's father stood up at once. He said to the man,
Call some villagers. We'll fight the fire.
The fire was spreading fast. It burnt down many trees and gave off clouds of smoke. A lot of villagers gathered and helped to put out the fire. Pranav's father finally came back home.
We are really very sorry,
Said Prabhu and Pranav.
We lit a fire on that mountain and forgot to put it out. It must have spread. Please forgive us.
Pranav's father was angry at first, but he said calmly,
We need to protect our forests. Forests are the homes of wild animals. When we destroy our forests, we destroy the homes of wild animals. We should respect forests and the animals that live in them. This incident should be a lesson for you that you should be careful.
We will be very careful in future. We promise.
said Pranav and Prabhu together. Word meanings. Cousin, a child of one's uncle or aunt. Vacations, holidays. Trek, a long walk in the hills. Collected, gathered, roasted, cooked slowly over a fire. Forgive, stop being angry with someone and pardon the person. Protect, keep safe from harm or injury. Destroy, end something by damaging it. Incident, happening or event. Big and small. Get set. Have you ever noticed how you look with your parents? Who is the tallest? We see flowers, animals, and other objects of different sizes. Have you thought of how each animal or person thinks about the other? Read this poem to know about it. The elephant is very large, and I am very small. The snail might say as much to me. He'd think me very tall. A rose is to a ladybird a palace great and sweet. As big as houses must appear to children in the street. And stars that look so wee are big, some bigger than the sun, and yet they sprinkle all the sky like currants in a bun. And though I'm really 7 years old, so large compared with me, is Daddy's car. When I get down, I feel I'm scarcely 3. Word meanings. Ladybird, a small insect that is commonly red, orange or yellow, with small black spots. Palace, residence of king or queen. Appear, be seen. We, small and tiny. Sprinkle, cover with small drops of something. Currants, small dried fruit. Compared, see whether 2 things are same or not. Scarcely, only just. All about sharing. Get set. All of us do not have everything we need. Each one of us has different things. If we combine everyone's things, that is, share our things with one another, we will be able to produce something which will be useful for everyone. Let's read a story which shows that sharing can satisfy everyone and make everyone happy. One night, an old man came to a village. He had been travelling all day long. He was tired and hungry. He wanted some food and shelter for the night.
Go away,
said the villagers.
We don't have any food for you. We have been hungry for many days. I only have an onion left in my field,
said a farmer.
I can't even feed my family. How can I give you any food?
I only have some salt, said a woman. I can't feed anyone with that.
Don't worry,
said the traveller.
I will make some soup for everybody.
What soup will you make?
Asked the villagers.
Stone soup,
replied the traveller.
May I have some water?
The villagers gave him some water. He filled water in a large pot. Then he put the pot on fire. When the water was hot, he put a clean stone into it.
Ah,
the traveller said,
this stone soup is good. Of course, stone soup with cabbage in it is better.
I have only a small cabbage growing in my garden, said one of the villagers. The cabbage is too small to feed my family. So she went home, brought it, and put it into the pot.
Wonderful,
said the traveller.
I once had stone soup with a cabbage and a potato. It was fit for a king.
A poor farmer dug up a few potatoes from his field and added them to the pot. Said the traveller.
A little milk would make this soup perfect.
An old woman milked her goat and added a little milk to the pot. The woman who had some salt put it into the soup. The farmer put the onion in the soup. Everybody put something in the pot. Everyone had some soup. The soup was delicious. The villagers were not hungry now because they had learnt to share. Word meanings. Fit for a king. The best. Added. Put some. Perfect. So good that it cannot be better. Milked. Took milk from an animal. Delicious. Very good in taste. The clever mice. Get set. How can you get rid of a person who bullies you? You do not need physical strength to drive away a big bully. You need to think and make a plan for the same. Read how some small mice drove away a wicked cat who always troubled them. We must do something about that wicked cat. Quickly, the mice ran away into the bushes before the cat could catch them.
That cat is everywhere. We can't go into the kitchen to eat biscuits and breadcrumbs. She eats everything in the garden, and we can't even eat leftovers of food. We must do something quickly.
Be careful. She might eat you too.
The bird is right. Let's think fast.
Just then, a large round thing passes in the sky, and all mice are afraid. Don't worry, it's only a hot air balloon. More giant balloons of all shapes and colors float across the sky.
They look so beautiful. Indeed, they do. And they have given me an idea.
The cat was fast asleep in the garden. It did not notice the balloons as they floated by. I need 6 strong mice. We will buy a big balloon. After some time, the 7 mice came back with a large parcel. They began to open it and started pumping the balloon with air.
It's a special balloon. It will scare away the wicked cat.
The balloon began expanding into the shape of a giant mouse. Oh, it's a giant mouse, much bigger than the wicked cat. The giant mouse balloon slowly rose into the air near the sleeping cat. The wicked cat opened its eyes and screamed in fear as it saw a giant mouse staring at it. How the mice cheered and cheered! At last they were safe. Word meanings: wicked, bad or very harmful. Crumbs, tiny pieces of food items. Leftovers, food that has been left uneaten after a meal. Float, move slowly on air or water surface. Idea, plan or course of action. Notice, become aware of something. Special, better or more important than others. Scare, frighten, expanding, increasing in size. Screamed, shouted in a loud, high-pitched voice. Staring, looking at something or someone for a long time. Cheered, shouted loudly to show happiness. The moving train. Get set. Have you ever been on a train journey in the mountains? The train moves like a snake on mountain tracks. Imagine the train engine is happy and singing a song. Read this poem to find out more about the song.
When you travel on the railway and the line goes up a hill, just listen to the engine as it pulls you with a will. Though it goes so very slowly, it sings this little song. I think I can, I think I can. And so it goes along. But later on the journey, when you are going down a hill, the train requires no pulling and the engine singing still. If you listen very quietly, you will hear this little song. I thought I could, I thought I could. And so it speeds along.
Word meanings: railway, a steel track on which trains run. Will, strong desire and purpose. Journey, travel from one place to another. Requires, needs. Speeds, moves fast.